Hi, Walter. Welcome to the PowerTalk Show powered by Business Talks Weekly. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and joining us today. I would like to start the conversation by understanding how has your journey been so far from a tennis court to an entrepreneur or a corporate court?
Yeah, well, first, Navin, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the time and the opportunity to speak with you. And yeah, it really has been quite the journey. Growing up as a child, wanting to be a professional tennis player, my hopes and dreams, and, then in my early to mid 20s, realizing, uh, I couldn't make it. I couldn't be the Rafael Nadal or the Roger Federer of the world, and I had to, grow up and be an adult. But to be honest with you, I have no regrets. It has been a fantastic learning opportunity. And I feel I've taken everything that I learned on the tennis court, in training, in practice, in matches, over to the corporate side of my career. And I feel it's been very beneficial.
Wow. Thank you, Walter. Thank you so much for sharing your past with us. So, how has your journey been so far as a chief talent officer? I see that you have grown your company from 40 to 40,000 people. How has that journey been so far?
In the past 7 years, in 7 years, yeah, really, we've grown from about 100 people to over 40,000 uh, globally. We're in almost 30 countries. We provide HR outsourcing solutions for our clients. They run a business. We deal with the business owners, and it gives them the ability to focus on running their business. And we handle the HR and also the talent labor. So if they're looking to hire people, we hire them for them. We build work facilities around the world. Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, Europe, North America, South America. So, it's been a fantastic journey, which has taken me from only recruiting and hiring and working with companies in the United States to now being a global powerhouse. So it's been some ride.
Absolutely. That's very interesting, Walter, because I see there's been such a huge change in hiring and talent recruitment post-COVID and now after the AI era. The AI and technology is taking a toll. How are things working out for you? How are you looking at hiring right now?
The challenge. It's a mess out there. Seems post COVID, a lot of people have shifted their priorities. They've shifted their careers. Some of them don't want to go back to a career or their old career. No one wants to go back into hospitality. It's very difficult because, to be honest with you, everyone in hospitality was out of work. And so they're a little nervous, maybe, but the attitudes have changed globally. So there are different areas where there is a talented workforce. So what we've done is we've applied that. In other words, Navin, if a company wants to hire and in their part of the world they're having trouble, well, we show them new talent pools of people in different countries who can work for them in an excellent manner, great work ethic, and it's really opened up their eyes. And there's the corny expression like it's a global world now. It really is. And I'm guilty. I used to think everything happened in the United States. There was nothing happening outside. It was only in the United States. And I realize now that is so it was limited in my thinking. So it's really opened up a lot of eyes and ears.
That's wonderful, Walter. So, can you share some insights where or which country, which region is seeing a tremendous number of hiring and into which industry?
Yeah, sure. We are finding a tremendous need in healthcare. Healthcare is one of our biggest industries. The legal community, the law firms around the country around the world are looking for more support. And you mentioned AI earlier. I don't know if I'm in the majority or the minority, but look, AI is fantastic, and it's so helpful in automation, in helping the processes, improve. Efficiencies will be, increased. However, human capital is more important today than ever in the world. So in various industries, certainly the tech sector, financial technology, the services industry, I mentioned hospitality earlier, and even in staffing companies, recruiting agencies, they are in some of the most need to do some hiring. And in various parts of the world, those industries are in excellent shape, but in some parts of the world, they're hurting. So what we're doing is we go to our clients and we sit down with them and we do like a diagnostic, Navin, and we probe and we ask questions and we find out where they're in pain. And then we present opportunities, and a lot of times those opportunities take them to different parts of the world.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Walter, as you mentioned about AI, are you seeing any change in the requirement from your clients? Like, you need to have a specific AI skill in their resume or in their profile?
Yeah, so very, very smart question. It's an excellent question because if people out there are worried that AI is going to take their job, because I hear that a lot, AI is going to take everyone's job. Again, I really disagree. However, if you're worried about that, start studying AI, become a subject matter expert, because yes, our clients are looking for new technologies, new automation technologies, new artificial intelligence experts who can fill the database or feed the information into the AI to help improve their processes. So if you are a subject matter expert in artificial intelligence, right now you're in more demand than ever.
Absolutely. And there's so many courses, there's so many offerings right now where you can learn so many things about AI and the platforms. Walter, keeping the business part aside, I wanted to understand about you. What are the principles drive your leadership?
Yeah, wow. How much time do you have? That is a loaded question. That is a loaded question. So okay, and back to my tennis career, I look back at my greatest coaches and what their approach was with me, because to be honest with you, I was a handful. I was difficult at times, I was compliant at times, and I've applied my leadership style to kind of mirror that, in that different people, different types of leadership. I do believe that my job is to clear the path and help my charges succeed. I mean, that's my goal. My goal is to have them succeed. Now, if they're succeeding, my company is succeeding, we're all succeeding. So, I take a narrow approach, a micro approach to my team, and I approach them individually as best I can. Sometimes it has to be more of a macro, a global decision, but I want to be there for them individually, most times. And that typically creates a great team, a fantastic department. We work well with our other teams, our sales department, which we work very closely with, human resources, who we have to work, with. A lot of times in companies, Navin, the recruiting department, the hiring, talent acquisition, sometimes is not the best friends of the other departments, but I think we do a great job of really getting along with everyone.
Absolutely. It's a teamwork basically. And Walter, I want to understand, do you drive any differences or any take from a sportsman career and a corporate career?
I mean, certainly, you sweat a lot more in the sports, and it's certainly more physical. But I would say the mental parts of both departments are very, very similar, sometimes exactly the same. For instance, in tennis, you have to have a short term memory. You can have a big success, you can win the greatest point, or you can lose the biggest point. You have to forget and move on. And same in the business side. In the business side of things, you can mess up a project. The project is just not going great. You have to have that short-term memory and fix things for tomorrow. You can't change today. You cannot change what has already happened, but you can affect positive change. Tomorrow. It reminds me. Roger Federer lost. He lost 46% of the points he played. He only won 54% of the points that he played in his entire career. However, his timing was impeccable. We need great timing in on the corporate side. You need a steady level-headed mindset. You can't be getting excited and upset or elated and happy. You can have emotions, but the more level set you can be, the better you can lead your team and the more sound decisions you'll make. I really feel the mental side of sports and corporate is almost identical.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as you spoke about timing, Walter, what is your vision for the next 5 years? What are you working on?
Yeah. So, thanks for asking. So, one of our companies is called Salvo Global, and we are making hires around the world. And one of my strong goals in the next 5 years is to spread the word that you cannot fight being a global economy anymore. It is to your disadvantage to think, no matter where you are, you could be in Canada, you could be in Mexico, wherever you are, it's not just your backyard anymore. This is a global economy now more than ever. It's going to continue to be more of a global. Let's embrace the global marketplace. It will make you and your business more successful. I feel it creates many, many more opportunities, so that and embracing the new technology, not fighting it, but embracing the technology. There's a lot of people, Navin, who are, maybe of the baby boomer demographic who are resistant to new technologies. Try to embrace the technology, learn it, have your nieces and nephews teach you the new technology. And instead of saying, oh, I'm too old to learn that. No, embrace it, learn it, become a subject matter expert. It'll make you more valuable and your business way more efficient.
Absolutely. I am 100% with you on both the things. Walter, one final question that I ask all my guests. What is the one piece of advice you receive that change your perspective, professionally as well as personally?
Wow, that's a great question, Navin. What one piece of advice? Well, I think when I was a tennis player, I had a little bit of a temper. And one day after losing a match, I broke my rackets. I slammed my rackets like a baby, and I was not of a baby age. I slammed my rackets on the floor, breaking them. And my parents, they sat me down. They didn't yell at me. Okay. They didn't punish me, but they said, first of all, my actions I'm accountable for. So being accountable, I had to pay my own money, which I didn't have. I had to save up to get new tennis rackets. I couldn't play. I didn't have a rack. I didn't have any racket to play with. So that was something that lasted with me a lifetime. You are accountable for your actions. And sometimes the numbers are what they are. And if your numbers are good, it's because of you. You deserve to pat yourself on the back. And if the numbers are not good, find out what you need to do to improve your numbers, because you are accountable for your actions. There's no one else to blame, and you need to, hold self responsibility. It was the greatest learning moment, that I ever had. So that was the greatest advice that I ever got. And I've passed it on to my children, and I would pass it on to anyone else.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Walter. And thank you so much for giving us time and joining us on our podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it and enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.